Hello everybody, this is Bitcoin Macro, and on this video guys I'm going to talk about 5 different gems that I'm pretty sure you are going to love. Now they are very nice coins, the charts looks very hot, so I'm going to get straight into the point. I'm not going to go too deep into the fundamentals or all that stuff, so it's going to be raw charts and I'm pretty sure you're going to enjoy it. So first one is Enzyme, which was called Melon in the past. Now this coin is listed on Kraken, is listed on Huobi and on some other exchanges. It's a very nice gem because it had a major upgrade fairly recently. It evolved into Melon 2, lots of stuff about it. You can go and do your research on Melon, and I do believe that it's a massive coin because look guys, it had such a massive capitulation in the past. Now ignore that massive wick up there because it just doesn't serve anything. So but if you look at this, like look from how high it went so low, and it had this extreme capitulation right here. And if you pay attention to this here guys, when a coin forms such a nice base, like such a massive capitulation right here, and it comes all the way down there, then it forms this base, explodes, and it revisits that base, and it looks so strong, then that has the potential to potentially go all the way up there again. And if you look at this, we had a certain high here, another one here, and another one right here with a big pop begun. And then look at this, all the way down, the price drifted into this support, has closed here, and look at this guys, that's a very nice inverse head and shoulders pattern. I quite like this one because we've got this and this, with the potential of this barrier right here eventually breaking down. Now of course it could be a little pullback first, maybe even all the way down here, but I do expect it to come at least all the way up here. I wouldn't be surprised if we see any major listing, let's say on Binance this year. So next one is Nexus Neutral. This one had a pretty big capitulation guys as well. Now the whole chart, if you look let's say on the one on CoinTrader Pro, you can see that it came all the way back down, full cycle. It had a major hack at some point. I think the founder got hacked, so a lot of coins got dumped on the market, so it had kind of like a forced capitulation. I don't really think that they forked or anything, at least I don't remember that kind of thing, but it looks fairly good right now. It has been one of the strongest alts tokens during this price drop. So any coin that does this guys, and at least has this nice Adam and Eve bottom, or at least a double bottom, regardless of how you look at it. I look at it like an Adam and Eve because it goes like this, and then this is more like a round bottom. Okay, so when I look at these things guys, it looks fairly certain to me that at least it could come all the way up here. Okay, so at least a double from here, at least that's my opinion. Potentially maybe even here, because it looks very strong, and in my opinion it is ready to explode higher. Now it could also have a pullback, but if it hasn't had a pullback already, then I don't know, I don't really expect it to have a pullback right now. So the other one guys is Stratis, or Stratis X as it's called right now, or STRAX, that's the ticker. So it's a very special one because it's a very old coin guys, that it had a major upgrade around this time. The mainnet got launched and it's looking fairly strong right here. Okay, it had its correction along with the other coins, and if I just look at the big picture now, if I even look at the Poloniex chart or the Bittrex chart, the downside was even bigger because its first bubble was massive. So it retraced the full bubble, and I'm gonna show you the chart in a minute. But the main thing for this chart right here is that it had such a massive accumulation in this period that right now I just feel like we're just coming into the accumulation again, and it could have a very nice rally. Now look, this is not as good as the other ones, but I do believe it's a fairly decent coin and I quite like it. Of course, if you look at the whole picture, because it had such a massive capitulation, I do believe it's quite a special one, and in my opinion we could see it go much higher from here, given the fact that all the sellers have essentially capitulated. So if you look at it, it had a massive full cycle, came all the way back down to where it was in 2016. So I do believe that from 4,000 satoshis, it could get all the way up to 10,000 satoshis. So the other coin, guys, is AdEx or ADEX, depending on how you call it. It's up to you. Like, you know, with so many of these coins, I don't really know the actual tickers. I don't know how to pronounce the names. They're quite random. So it's another coin that has had a massive capitulation. But if I just look at it, the accumulation in this one was very, very nice. And it's very, very different, because when I see a coin have all of those wicks right here, and by the way, guys, this coin is also only mainly traded against Bitcoin. It has some other pairs, maybe on other exchanges, stuff like that. But it had this nice pop. Until this time on Huobi, it wasn't trading actually, because deposits and withdrawals were blocked, so people could trade it, but the price was not following the one on Binance. Now the trading has resumed properly on Huobi as well. And because it had this nice downside and all this up movement, I'm thinking that all the people that have been selling here, all the sellers in this area, eventually will be under. And I do believe that it might be somebody accumulating. These things, I don't believe that they are actions of a simple market. Okay, it means that there is a big player in the market. At least that's my opinion and how I interpret it. Now, this might not be the case, and it might just be the fact that the coin is very illiquid. But for me, the fact that right now we're coming above the old support in this area right here. So that was the old support, excuse me, sorry about that. And we also had this support be reclaimed fully. We see that we're in a pretty nice uptrend. It hasn't gone up too much yet, but I do believe that it could eventually have a very, very nice pump. Now again, like with Stratis, they are a bit more risky. Maybe, who knows, Binance still lists them, so I wouldn't put much on them. And that's why these are more specific coins. Okay, guys? So please, just don't take that much risk when you go into any of those coins. And finally, the last coin that I would talk about is Trustswap. It's listed on Poloniex and some other exchanges, and it looks very, very nice because it did have its nice rally over the summer. Very nice capitulation. It went sideways for a really long time. Okay, it actually bottomed in November when other coins kept dropping up until January. So it did show some strength, but it was a late bloomer, so it just didn't move up hard. Then it did pull back. Now it didn't come all the way down here, but it has been showing this kind of nice pattern right there. And whenever I see the market refuse to go lower, and it kind of forms that kind of like cap and handle kind of structure, I do believe that it wants to go much higher, especially when it comes out of such a massive accumulation and it stays relatively near to that high. Because look, when everything had been correcting over the last few days, it didn't really have a major correction, so this one could do very, very well too. So that's it from me, guys. These are the 5 coins I like today. Again, Erupt, Nexus Mutual, pretty good because again, insurance might be a big theme. Melon, it had its massive upgrade. It also had a pretty big drop, nice consolidation. It has been moving up nicely right now. Both of those that I mentioned looked like some inverse head and shoulders were forming. Then we've got Stratis X, which has been reclaiming its accumulation range, the old accumulation range, after retracing all the way down to 2016 lows. Then we've got ADX, which is a very nice coin as well, because it has formed a nice bottom. Now, unlike Stratis, which had a nice upgrade a few months ago, this one has been forming a very interesting bottom, probably one of the most interesting charts that I've seen up until now. And I've been surprised that it hasn't had a big pump, but anyone who had been selling into those massive increases has been making profit, but eventually all these people will have to chase. So I do believe that has to do with some whale playing with the market, and it will eventually result in a really big pump. And finally, we've got Trustswap. This is a more interesting one because it's a smaller coin, but it's one that's not listed on Binance. But I do believe eventually, who knows, maybe it does get listed on Binance. And right now it's forming this very nice bottom, which I do believe is going to result on higher prices. So thanks a lot for watching, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.